it can be really hard to hear the difference between the short I and the short E sound. Short I, short E, eh. So one of the first things I want you to do is get out a mirror and I want you to look at your mouth when you say these sounds. Even before you help your child with these sounds, mom and dad, I want you to do this first, okay? Because I want you to be a good example of how these sounds sound. The I sound is like a very thin smile. Your mouth is still open, but it's almost closed. Almost. So I think of the letter I, tall and skinny, put it on its side. I, 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 I. So your mouth is really closed. The sound is open just a little bit. Eh, eh, eh. I, eh, I, eh. You might want to over exaggerate your mouth movements just a little bit to help your child to see the difference. Eh, I, So I want you to really nail that sound first before you help your child be able to differentiate between these two sounds. The next thing is I want you to think of a word that starts with an I sound or an sound. I prefer itch, and I'll have my kids like itch themselves, itch. Itch, and then egg, egg, and I'll have them take their egg, their fist, and crack it on their hand. Egg, egg. So and itch and egg. And itch and egg. When you hear a word and you're like, oh, is that the I sound or the sound? I want you to go back to those key words. Let's look at the first word. Pin. Break it out. I, I want you to think itch. Itch, And I want you to isolate those sounds. Itch, pin. And you can see that those match. Then on the other hand, pen, and think of egg, p, n, pen, egg, pen, egg, Many people struggle to hear the difference between these two sounds. So, as a parent, if you can master these sounds, then you can transfer that just through extra practice with your child. The other thing is when you are working with your child to understand and hear the difference between those sounds, start with the I. The I is easier. And I want you to practice the I sound. And I'll give you a list of words that you can practice with. Practice with that itch, sound with games, word lists, practice over and over. And what I want you to look for, I want you to look for your child accidentally slipping over just even a little bit into that sound when they're supposed to be working on the I sound. Okay. So rather than starting with differentiating the two, let's start with nailing what is that itch, sound and identifying where your child might be drifting into an bring them back, do that comparison with itch, and help them pronounce that sound. And usually, if you are able to say that sound, they can usually repeat that sound after you. And then once we have really, really nailed the sound, then we can introduce the sound. And what we'll do is we'll use word lists of minimal pairs. And with minimal pairs are words like pin, pen, big, beg. So the words are the same except for just those vowel sounds. And we'll use that to practice back and forth hearing the I and the sound. And what I do is as we are practicing these, I literally have a picture of itch, and I have a picture of egg, eh, and we check every single word, being very diligent in the beginning with making sure that your child is being absolutely 100% accurate on pronouncing the sound, and pronouncing the sound will help them down the road. It'll help them from not being confused, because one of the things that kids do is they tend to find a sound right in the middle of and eh. They find a sound that could be an could be an and then as they read words, the person listening thinks, oh, okay, close enough. But the reality is they're kind of just guessing with this sound that's somewhere in between. So we want to break that and help them feel very confident of the I sound versus the S sound. And I have tons of different games and activities and so forth that you can use to practice the I and sound.